watching the clock, 10,000 hours go by. I keep putting in work, the tears are filling my eyes. I swear I've never been tested like this, but this is mine. It's not a matter of chance, just a matter of time. Never look back. If something's standing in my way, I always push back. If something seemed impossible, I never took that. Nah, cause now I know better. Can't stop, won't stop, I won't quit ever. As far as won't take me, the highest fall, it won't break me. The blood and sweat is what made me, made me. I'ma get mine, just a matter of time.
Today's matchup: JAG GreenWings, SK Telecom T1. The Fantastic Run.
Welcome back for the break, guys. It's time for the marquee matchup of the day. SK Telecom T1 going up against JAG. If you're just tuning in, I'm Achilles. That's Papa Smithy. And it's time to go for the record, Papa. Can we do it in this meta? Be even more impressive if we could break the 94 minutes.
We bring you back for every SKT versus JAG match our pain at that first round. Patch 8.1 extravaganza can never be forgotten, but it can be improved on. The technology exists for a 1 hour, close to 2 hour match. 1 hour 34. That wasn't enough for us. We're ready for more.
Yeah, we want to go the distance. We want to go as far as this ship will take us, and I think we can do it. I think JAG can maybe deliver on it, or at least deliver on a game win, because SKT have been trending up a little bit. They had their dip, obviously, weren't able to pick up a win.
What are you
versus...
calling them? Never mind.
Oh, you. Couldn't pick up their win versus KT Rolster again in the Telecom series. Came close, took a win away from KT, but ultimately were defeated. But they're still trying to climb the standings. They found themselves further down on the list than this in the past in this season. Now they're at 7th, trying to break out and upward into that top 5 spot so they can go back through playoffs.
I've already got a number they need to hit. 8 match wins is where 5th is right now. You know it's going to be more by the end of the season. But SK Telecom kind of needs to approach every single series they play in the last 5 as must-win and maybe even must-win 2-0. So SK Telecom T1, the run starts now. The Fantastic Run, the subtitle of OGN's final season here, working on the LCK. The Fantastic Run is what SK Telecom T1 need if they're going to make it all the way to those playoffs.
Yeah, so far they've been stumbling along. They've tripped. They rolled their ankle. The run hasn't been that great. But it's the same story for JAG GreenWings, who currently find themselves in that 9th place spot. These guys could barely get off the ground, found a win versus BBQ, then suffered a loss at the hands of BBQ, giving them their first match victory. These guys, they've had their ups and downs. Teddy still trying to be the carry out of the bottom lane, but sometimes it just doesn't work out. We see him go back over to the mages, and they don't find that much success.
Just like recently, though, with BBQ, JAG mostly on the ups. Mostly they have been being able to pick up those big victories. The one over Kingzone Dragon X,
huge.
Of course, the one that everyone will remember. Kingzone a bit more in form yesterday against KT. This man Umti on your screen has been up and down, even in their last series a couple of days ago. Need the best of everyone on JAG if they're going to give true threat to SK Telecom Team 1.
Still one of the few junglers who's really putting that heavy priority on the Nocturne. We saw him play it all 3 times in their last series versus Hanwha Life Esports, but it's trending away for a lot of other teams. How is it going to work for JAG? What is their jungle?
Who's playing for SKT?
Like? But that is the question coming in. What is the SK Telecom lineup going to be? And as we flip through, you'll see that it will in fact be Pyrian back in the mid lane. No FLICKR yet. Still has not made his return.
Now he has made his return to form in solo queue, a hot streak, 12 wins, 3 losses in his past 15 games. Seems like this FLICKR guy could actually be an LCK player after all. That wasn't really a question for too many people, but you need to be reminded sometimes of the quality on the bench. SKT, their fans need to be reminded that they have won back-to-back matches, looking to make it 3 today over Jin Air.
Yeah, we know that Coma really likes hot streak solo queue players, so maybe that FLICKR guy will get picked up after all by SKT.
Where is Untara?
I don't know. He's just been chilling. I don't even know if I've seen him. Then again, I haven't gone into the player room for quite some time for SKT, so I'm sure he's around. I just personally haven't laid my eyes on him yet. Tall has been starting for quite some time for SKT at this point.
SKT 4-1 in their past 5 games. Now, very easy to say, Hanwha Live out of form at the time. BBQ Olivers, the 10th place team. What do we learn about SK Telecom with Pyrion? Even his champions, eerily familiar. Can this FLICKR guy play LeBlanc, I wonder? As we look at the KDAs,
Well,
Pyrion a better player than Grace, confirmed.
oh, locked it in. 8 games already played with that 4.4 coming through. So Pyrion has been earning his starting spot. They've been getting the wins with him, so you know why change it up? If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Because surely, eventually, you put the best player of all time into the mid lane. So when will the pin drop? Is what a lot of SKT fans will say about Jin Air GreenWings. If there are off-season changes, surely FLICKR is still what you're building around, says SKT fans. SKT say, we need match victories. This configuration is working. We'll stick with it. Jin Air GreenWings, that season, I should say spring season match. 2-1 winners over SK Telecom T1. That was the 94-minute dream. But here is Pyrion in the mid lane. Galio, LeBlanc, Lulu. Could you imagine another mid laner that could play these champions on SKT? I, for one, cannot.
Definitely not, especially when you put Aurelia and Orianna and Ryze into the mix. I can't think of anybody who has World Championship skins for these champions, nor who has played these quite a lot in their career. So Pyrion, it makes a lot of sense. It just fits so well.
Key player, according to OGN. He has been good, really. I mean, it's very hard to fault Pyrion. He's just playing because the coach said it's time for you to play, and the team is mostly winning. With KDA on the Galio, whatever the mid lane are going to be a priority. And now we go to the bot lane. The awesome dude's going to be trying to fight for the Swain. Big pick for both Teddy and Bang. Teddy away from the marksman recently. Bang a bit more on the marksman hype train. We'll see if the agreement changes here. You'll notice, though, when it comes to ADC and non-ADC champions, the AD carries and Teddy, the Fountain Laser, made his name on the AD carries, haven't been kind to Jin Air or Teddy in particular.
Yeah, 6-11 with non-ADC champions when he goes for those awesome dudes. The actual ADCs 4-11, so 2 less wins, 2 fewer wins. They're the same amount of losses, so hasn't really culminated into victories for Jin Air as of late. It's been a very, very rough season for these guys, and we'll go ahead and take a look at the total bot lane, actually, not just the awesome dudes. We'll see the supports as well.
Pyke, a big pick for effort. I think SKT were a bit too liberal with when they chose the Pyke. If you remember, in their loss to BBQ, they won 2-1 overall, but their last game was when Pyke was kind of bullied on the bot side for effort. Still a really big pick for him. Focus on the Tahm Kench and the Pyke. Looks more comfortable on the engage for certain, but sometimes the Tahm Kench is the way in the ball.
Yeah, sometimes you just need a bailout option or those Abyssal Voyages to come through. We saw that they can be used very aggressively at times, but we'll go ahead and take a look at the fan vote. Expecting SKT, yeah, it's still going to be shattering Jin Air, but in the past, 86% is probably a bit less than you would have expected from the SKT fandom.
It's a lot of votes, though, and this is very much a passion vote. This is very much, I want to see my team win. They are big favorites today over Jin Air, but I definitely think the reality is closer to maybe 65-35, kind of what I said about game number 1. That went 3 games. This one could go 3 games as well. Koma stays in the back these days. He's here, but right next to FLICKR in the back. Bengi and Mandu will be in the booth. We're ready to roll on for SK Telecom T1 versus Jin Air. Can this be as crazy as some of the matchups? This might be the last time we see SKT versus Jin Air in 2018.
That's true. And depending on if Jin Air can't make it out of the relegation zone and make it through the promotion tournament, it could be the last time ever Papa Smithy. I highly doubt that, though. But here we go. Pick and ban is underway. Morgana and Orianna off the bat, banned away by Jin Air. SKT sticking with the more standard things on the red side with the Aatrox and the Taliyah.
Pyrion playing a lot of Orianna on the Pyrian account. Now, again, it hasn't been officially confirmed by OP.GG that Pyrian with 3 N's is Pyrian, but come on, guys, it must be.
I've got a pretty good idea of who this could be.
There's a pretty hot race going on there. They're both top 10 challenger, but Pyrian is higher. I don't know if that's going to affect the standings. We just still don't know why. FLICKR isn't playing, but he's not playing in this game if you're joining us for the VOD. Trundle, the final ban here. See what Jin Air won as a first pick. A lot open. Zoe can be comfort for a lot of teams. SKT, see the Trundle ban. See what they diffuse here. They're going to ban the Nocturne. Again, 3 games of Nocturne from but very unconvincing. The whole champion in general has been unconvincing in recent memory. And Jin Air say, well, Xayah Rakan, that'd be lovely.
Well, SKT maybe just got to take it away, go for that Xayah Tom Kench bot lane. See what they want to do. For now, might just surrender it as they flash the Sejuani for blank, and they will lock this in.
In Meta's past, they were a Xayah team more than a Xayah Rakan team. Bang Xayah. Very impressive pick, and it's doing very well this season as well. 4-2 on the Xayah. But that means Xayah Rakan to Jin Air. So, no awesome dude this time. Looks like Marksman actually going to come out for Teddy for the first time in a while. We're on patch 8.13, guys. The hotfix is enabled. 8.14 will be a next week thing. I believe EULCS will be starting on 8.14 tonight. We don't have 8.14 till next Tuesday. That's when we update.
Yeah, so just a little bit further behind on that one. We'll see it very soon. But the Lovers bot lane for Jin Air. So already a lot of power acquired. And there's a, I was going to say there's a Trundle. It's not. It's a Trundle on the ban list. So can't go for that into the Sejuani. Maybe they go for a Skarner, and they will lock this in. So still an aggressive pick for You know my opinion on Skarner. I won't repeat it.
Definitely been a good pick for Jin Air with the Galio. And then also in the spring season, it's been a big pick for them. So Galio, I kind of have on my mind for Jin Air. Seems like I wonder if SKT will think about it as well. Looking to match the picks here. We have bot lanes and junglers taken. No flex picks so far. That's always a bit strange. The Swain is overlooked by both teams. Peculiar. Given that it's been a big pick for Jin Air and SKT in the past. Tal is a big top lane Swain player. Could still be first pick on the red side to continue the flexes or to not show too much about their comp for SKT. We're getting into the second round. Solo lanes on the ban list for Jin Air and SKT.
Swain just end up on that ban list. We'll have to see. Maybe they want to take that one away as we get ready to go into the second half of the draft. But it will be the Zoe to start us off. So getting rid of some of that power in the mid side.
If you're looking at blind picks that have worked for these teams, kind of looking down the numbers, obviously both these teams in the bottom 5, so no huge win rates to really talk about. The Swain is one that has been pretty reliable. For the side of Jin Air in particular, the top lane matchup has been something that's been targeted pretty hard in our first series of the night. So finally saw a Mundo for this week, and it got slammed by the side of Homolife Esports. So I wonder if we will see a Mundo today. SKT. Grace has been best with counter pick, so I imagine keeping mid lane pick for Pyrian as final pick is what they look for, unless a Galio blind pick's going to happen, and they don't want Galio. We already talked about how it'll be a great synergy with the Jin Air comp, so the Galio is the second ban for SKT.
Yeah, so first pick for that here on the red side, so we'll just ban it away. Final from Jin Air. Try to ban something away from Pyrian perhaps, or maybe take something away from Tal. The Gnar, which has been ever popular, is still available and would be a safe first pick here for SKT, but it's going to be the Jace yet again.
Does mean that Gnar here is very, very strong, as you're kind of alluding to, Achilles. Jace, one of the best picks into it. Blind pick Gnar, first pick on the red side, has already been the new norm in the LCK. See if it does come in for SKT. But the Swain still being available, it is still a flex pick because mid lane and top lane both play the Swain. It's not going to be a bot lane flex pick this time. It will be claimed by SKT.
So do pick this one up now. Maybe just another Rise. We are fourth one of the day.
Rise Gnar would be very decent here. I think you still take the Gnar. Gnar versus Swain is a very fine matchup if that's what it ends up being. Only Kennen exists as a strong matchup into the Gnar, and the Gnar has been doing better and better in that matchup. I guess Tal could return to top lane Cassiopeia. That was one of his old picks into the Gnar, but it'd be a surprise.
Definitely would be a bit of a swap up. I can give permission on the Yasuo into the Gnar in the top lane. That would be fine.
The Malphite was a big favorite of So1 last time in a tricky lane. I don't know if you blind pick it. The Gnar is so obvious it will be claimed. Or will we see a new pick into the Gnar is what I want to know about SKT.
See what they've got ready to go. It's been growing in popularity. Maybe it's just going to be the classic matchup here of the Gangplank.
The Maokai would actually be a pretty classic matchup, but the Gangplank is what we're going to see. Makes a lot of sense if the GP comes in, trying to make it a farm lane. We started off with Gnar being a GP counter, and by the end of spring season,
Kind of turned it on its head.
yeah, the GP was winning every time, so going to be a bit of pressure onto Sowan. Still ends up being a power draft, you'd say, for Jinner. Their comp has a very clear identity. There's a good pick in the lanes for Skarner to follow up with an ultimate. So laning phase, I think, is a very happy one for Jinner. But if the skirmishing doesn't work, if they can't actually get a snowball in the laning phase, you look at SKT's comp in a team fight, not too many people to pull in, given that I imagine Tom, Kench, and Varus will be there. Bit of a buddy system, and then that's where SKT really take over.
Yeah, it's probably going to have to flash forward just to try to get on top of Bang, because otherwise the Chain of Corruption is just going to come down, lock up that Skarner, and everyone can just nuke him. So SKT going to be looking to get ahead, try to shut down that Skarner early on. But if Teddy can get rolling, if he can stay alive with his Xayah, scale up into the late game, he is going to destroy people.
I agree, but to me the onus is on Jinner. Get the picks, make strength out of your level 6 Skarner, do a lot early, and then if Teddy's hitting his items early and SKT's a little bit behind, you can roll through. But if this is 25 minutes 0-0, who wins? You really give it to SKT's team comp as the game goes on. So Jinner, can they actually pull off those aggressive moves? They've been able to sometimes, but can they translate? That's another sometimes. Already getting double conditional. SKT will feel very happy about where they're at, but Jinner also have picks they've shown in the past they can use to great effect.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, game one, Jinner versus SKT. Getting ready to kick off. Papa Smithy and I back at it again, looking to break another record for our longest game time. If we could do it in this meta, oh man, it would just be the most impressive thing for either of these squads. But SK Telecom, they don't want that nonsense. They want a 2-0. Jinner just want a victory. They want something. They want to claw away as many wins as they possibly can, just in case they have to go through that promotion tournament to re-qualify for the next season. Get as much momentum and morale backing them as humanly possible.
It's so great that Jinner and BBQ have been winning. Everyone's got something to play for. Jinner just want to get out of relegation.
All right, well, SKT dropping a game to BBQ in their last series. Will they drop one to Jinner, or can they get a 2-0 win? Let's find out as we jump onto the rift for game number one. Go. Teddy already taking a couple shots. We'll just be retreating back down underneath the tower.
Level 1, all about getting those wards so you can control the Scuttle Crabs, and I guess the Spires are also relevant when Skarner's in the game. I want to talk about who else is in the game. We have Pyrian playing once again. Some SKT fans already probably wondering if FLICKR has name changed. No. Pyrian is a different person, of course, from Phoenix One.
Yep.
Korean player, though.
Another NA import.
We got quite a few of them. It turns out there's been some do-si-dos with players going overseas and coming back. The reason why I want to speak about Pyrian in this particular indication is, oh boy, Nara's on a win streak. Thank you for that one, OGN. Is that if you look back and you ask as an SKT fan, when was the last time FLICKR didn't start 3 series in a row? Because Pyrian has been in game 1, 3 series in a row. The answer to that question is, in fact, 2015 spring. When that season started, Easyhoon played game 1 of the first 5 matches in a row. That was the last time there was a streak, so there's a streak to talk about. FLICKR was still playing. He was playing game 2 in most of those series, but when it comes to not starting for 3 games in a row, we're going back 3.5 years and then some for SKT to not have FLICKR in at game number 1.
Yeah, he wasn't just kicking him off, but he was coming in for the finish more often than not. I mean, that's so long ago, before I even came out here.
Neither of us were here back then.
That's true. Yeah, you weren't even here.
That was a different time. There was only 8 teams in the LCK in spring season of 2015. There was an expansion tournament played after the spring season, and that brought Rebels Anarchy, went on to become the Afrika Freaks. So a long, long time ago. A lot of our viewers wouldn't have been watching back then. So the wheels definitely turn here in Korea. It is notable for a 3rd series in a row to not be seeing FLICKR. We don't know when the end of this is. Is it going to be another game loss because they lost a game against BBQ and Pyrian retained his spot? Again, so much to understand. You have to think it's sooner rather than later, but we'll never know till we actually see the great man in the booth again.
Might just be chilling out in the hyperbolic time chamber, powering up, getting ready for that potential playoffs run. Got to make it there first. Nice trade coming in for Pyrian, but decent exchange from Grace. Rapid fire spells coming out of that Rise to even it out a bit.
Blank has been one of the big players empowered by the change here. We've seen a lot better performance from him with Pyrian. There was a great interview with Blank that was really talking about the differences between jungling for FLICKR and also jungling for Pyrian. We'll hold the point for now as Skarner is skulking around bot side. The gist of it was, though, trying to see here, Skarner lying in wait, giving him the benefit of the doubt.
They really don't want you to finish that point. Nova's going to look for the engage. Fan entrance not going to get the pop-up. Devour comes through. Effort's already blown his flash. Then gets spat out. Flash away. Effort now. Still getting chunked out as he retreats in underneath the tower. That's going to be the heal coming through. TP out from Pyrian as he gets ready to join into the bottom lane. Now it's going to be a 4v3. Nova flashing away. Lockup coming through. The never move on to Umpty. That's going to be first blood going over to Bang. SKT with the TP into the bot lane. Turn it around for first blood.
And we see a heal bait in 2018 and it works because no one takes heal in the AD carry role. What are you talking about? Bang has heal. The teleport is used by Pyrian. And it's actually a great indication of the point I was getting to, Achilles. When Blank was asked the difference between jungling for FLICKR and jungling for Pyrian, he said that FLICKR is really good at snowballing advantages for himself and playing for himself in that mid lane, getting a big lead and being a hard carry. Pyrian plays for the other lanes. The heal bait allows for the teleport play from Pyrian. He doesn't care about where his minion line is. He wants to just leave the lane and help bot side, and we've seen in the past also Pyrian helping his aggressive plays from Blank on Talia as well. This is the change in the team. It feels like the other lanes are the ones that benefit. We're not going to see Pyrian hard carrying, but it does, so far, seem to be working for SKT.
Yeah, get that kill on the board, move forward just a bit as far as the gold is concerned. And already putting Umpty on the back foot. So Flash is going to be down. Not going to be able to go in. Flash ult somebody as soon as he hits 6. Still have a little bit of time left on that cooldown.
It's a really weird point to think about, though, this point about FLICKR, because a lot of people will think about it, and there's a lot of counterpoints. For example, well, FLICKR, one of his most famous stints as a pro player was on the Lulu, which, of course, is not the sort of champion you'd think of as being a dominant hard carry. I've got 400 CS, I won my lane super hard, let's go. But if you think about it, that was a priority champion. That was a champion that dominated the laning phase and then played out team fights a bit differently. I think it's no big stretch to say that FLICKR understands the game best when he's overextending, when he's controlling the enemy's movements, when he's very confident in his own power and his enemy mid laner's power. That is where FLICKR truly shines. The difference here is that Pyrian is really just playing around Blank and the side lanes and being able to assist the team. And maybe when the meta's in a certain state, there's an argument that having other options can be good, and Pyrian now has enough game time that when the best of 5s come around, whoever's starting game number 1, maybe Pyrian will feel confident to slide in and give them a different option.
Oh, just going to be a bit more dynamic. With Pyrian here, let's see. Blank just going to be clearing out the ward. Scuttle just taken here on the top side by Umpty as he tries to recover from that botched gank in the bottom side.
It was really well played by SKT. Love the heal bait. Yeah. It is Comet from Bang, by the way. He's gone for Manamune. It might just end up being a full lethality build. We're unsure. We had one game from Prey where he went for Manamune, Miramana into the Rage Blade for the Ginsu Rage double proc on the shock passive of that Miramana damage. I think full lethality makes some sense. Rise is a mid-range mage. That was hard to say. And that is something the Varus will definitely be able to damage from off the screen. They have GP and the Swain for more dive threats.
Let's try it again,
here. Nova doesn't have the quickness, but looking for something. Umpty does have the ultimate.
Goes for a walk, sees that the control ward is here, so can clear that out, allow for Umpty to try to get in. It's level 6, but not seeing the opening. The wave not really in a great spot. Nova can get a massive engage, but like you said, no quickness ready to go, so looks like that's just going to be him going back to base.
If Umpty had flash, maybe there's a way to make the play work, but he used it at the same time as Bang, Effort, and everyone on the bot side. For SKT, It's not going to be a window to make an Impale play work, and Blank lies in wait. This is going to be in vision of Jin Air, but we know that Skarner has already gone for a back.
The Wanderers coming through from Effort, just kind of pushing over to that side. Bang joining in the mix. So it should just be an Infernal taken away by SK Telecom for free.
He had the information, didn't pass downwards, wants to get the blue buff here for the Rise. Wouldn't have been able to contest for 100% certainty, as the Comet Varus might be this new answer to Xayah Rakan. Definitely don't want to go into auto-attack trades against Xayah Rakan. You end up stunned so many different ways, you forget what day of the week it is. So the Varus is going to stay off the screen, able to harass from range, and we'll wait and see what the evolving build is. Been a lot of disagreement. It's nice damage here from So On.
Yeah, just looking for this exchange before he goes back to base while he still has the Mega Gnar, it would seem.
And it is the Resolve tree that comes in.
Push up to the top. It's going to be Umti arriving. Pushing in. TP coming out. Tull going to go golden. They're trying to get out of here. Glacial Prison comes down from Blank. Locks up Umti, and he's going to die yet again. This time Blank gets the killing blow. 2-0 now for SKT. Is consistently turning these gank attempts around on their head.
It's a really greedy dive comes through against the stopwatch. You have to be aware of things like heal and stopwatch. But I think between the two plays, Jin Air have been a bit too brazen, and things have counted against them. And this lane was going well. It was about a 20 CS lead for the Gnar, going Cull, being super aggressive. Now it's an 18 CS lead. The Cull is answered by Tal as well, so they both eventually will be done with investment banking. And while it's not Kleptomancy on the Gnar, things going better than expected for the GP now.
Yeah, that is going to help them out quite a bit. Alleviate some pressure. Double call in the top. So On is going to be a bit further along with finishing the stacks on that, but Tal getting in some crucial items here. So that Phage is nearly ready to go for his Trinity Force.
Amusingly, he had double Sheen in his inventory, but he did revert the second one. If that worked, that'd be pretty busted.
Oh yeah. I don't think if there was ever a time where that was a thing, but I don't think it was.
Thankfully, no. It's not one that we want in the game for, especially the Gangplank, the chief abuser next to Ezreal of Sheen.
Yeah.
All right, so bot lane and top lane have kind of been negatively impacted by the, we'll call them ganks from Umti that have unfortunately gone the way of SKT, been turned around a couple of times. Hasn't used his flash, so it's still the potential for the next Predator gank to work. Here is Umti, aforementioned.
Gonna try it all over again, perhaps. Spire's gonna get picked up by Nova. He'll be fine. He can always dash out of the pit if he needs to. That's gonna be Umti starting to zip his way in. Bang does have his flash, but Umti, I don't think he's gonna get in there. No, actually flashes in for the lockdown. All there on the feathers. They get the root, they get the kill. TP gonna be completed by Pyrion though. Looking for a kill back. Another move gonna drag Umti in. He's getting junked out. Featherstorm comes down, but the pop comes in. And that's gonna be a double kill going over to Pyrion. Putting him back on the board. Says, you know what? You wanna kill my 80 carry? That's fine. I'm gonna get revenge. Twice as hard. That's 4-1 now. SKT still in the lead every single time Umti makes a move. They will just turn it right around on its head.
Counter gank 3 times in a row, Achilles. If you think about it, every time he's gone somewhere, a teleport turns around, a jungle gank, counter gank turns around. He really, really wants this kill, and Teddy causes damage. But he knows Teddy had already started pathing back. He'd given up on this being a play, so you wonder if the communication was a little bit off there as the first auto attack comes in late. The cost of going in that deep with all of your movement speed and all of your summoners is that you're going to be opting into this ultimate for a long time. Max damage on the Demon Flare, and goodbye, 2 members of Jin Air.
It's absolutely annihilated. So, not even 12 minutes into this game, SKT can find themselves up 1.4 thousand gold. Nova right now hugging in behind the wall. We'll be waiting for Bang to push forward, but Effort's nearby for a Devour. And Umti is just constantly on a warpath. Haven't even seen him farm in a while. He's just been back and forth between these lanes.
But it's got to the point where every time he goes near a lane, I will look for where the counter gank is going to come from. Check the summoners, check the minimap. Who's coming? Counter gank Umti, who's been shut down 3 times in a row. Hasn't fallen too far behind in CS, only a camp behind the Sejuani, who I guess has had the job of trying to follow the turbo ganking Skarner. Ninja Tabi first. Here as Bang is confirming lethality build onto the Varus. Cool to see. I like people mixing it up on the Varus.
Blast from the past.
We've seen the on-hit Varus, we've seen the lethality Varus, we've seen AP Varus. So we've seen a little bit of everything going on. Another reason why it's such a attractive option in the bot side because of all the maneuverable build paths. This build path on the hotfixed 813 was buffed in terms of AD ratios mid lane.
It's going to be the Abyss Voyage coming through, looking for the lockdown there onto Grace. They'll take him low, but not going to be getting a kill. Effort fine, has the great health, and now some damage going to be applied onto the tower. 4 members here from SKT. They're going to be looking for first brick in the mid lane of all places.
It seems very hard for them
What
doing about it.
Blank goes forward, trying to look for the lockdown. Grace not going to get caught, so he'll take a big chunk of damage from that piercing arrow, however. Vision of Empire not going to find the hit, but it's mostly just to try to zone them back. SKT managed to get that first tower. Cannon Barrage in the bottom to clear out the minion wave, so Jin Air can't even get close to answering.
It's really cool to see very solid plays. The rotational plays that you have with Tahm Kench and Gangplank are something that so many teams fell back on in spring season. SKT bringing back a bit of a greatest hits here. Make an assertive move into the mid lane, 4 members into the Rise and Skarner, nothing they can do. GP answers the side lane push with his ultimate, trading up in terms of tempo. First aggressive move made by SKT is going to be a beneficial one. This one not a counter gank, this time just a proactive macro move. Jin Air GreenWings find themselves 1,800 gold behind, and that's before the cold cash in is even bigger now.
SKT in a fantastic spot. And Nova, 2 members of Jin Air who have fallen so far. It's all stabilizing. 20 CS behind the Gnar here at the moment. The Trinity Force going to be on the way pretty shortly, you would expect. He's already got one of the daggers here for the Stinger.
Notice an adjustment in the build from Bang. He's our first of the bot lane Varus players to A, not rush the mana immune straight up, but B, actually the first lethality item is going to be, this one is a hold the point.
Yeah, Realm Wolf coming in, it's just going to be Grace by himself, but they're just going to turn this one around instantly. Pyrion flashes forward, gets another kill here onto this Swain, and now he's looking for Umpty. Well, I don't think he's going to be able to survive. The Never Move doesn't connect. Someone is here to try to alleviate pressure. The Boomerang will slow them up, so he does make it out. Barely so, but they try to go for an aggressive play, but there's just not enough power behind Jin Air. They're so far behind in gold. The Rise doesn't have that many items. And Pyrion, he's already got the Rod of Ages. He's a fat Swain.
That's the thing, there's plenty of power onto Pyrion.
Oh, yeah.
He had a fiendish Codex on top of it.
He's thick.
He hasn't used his stasis yet either. He's not going to die anytime soon, guys. This is not the guy you want a Skarner ultimate onto. You want to stay away from him as much as possible. He's big. Again, coming back to items bot side. If you rush this item, which of course is the Duskblade of Drakthar, since the last time that lethality Varus is a thing, you no longer have a ranged penalty on the item. You can get the same damage as a melee and a ranged champion. So that auto attack is going to be pretty fearsome. If you rush it in lane, there's going to be no lane wards because of course the passive will pop and you can clear the vision. Don't get it in one hit, but you do get it quick enough. And spot the vision is Bang. So a lot of power now on the one item Duskblade, and the less we say about Pyrion's power, the better.
Yeah, I was just going to say, poor Umpty can't even, try to get a Scuttle Crap. Just gets shoved away from that one immediately. The roam. As soon as those bot lane members are missing, he's just got to get out of there.
And what do we say in Champ Select? Because we said, if you don't get ahead, remember ahead, with the Jin Air comp, with some picks, with some proactive play, with the Skarner ultimate, who are you going to use that Skarner ultimate on? You're not going to get to, especially the lethality Varus. He doesn't even have to be on the screen to do damage. The Tahm Kench is going to be next to him, and everyone else is probably going to be all right with being moved a bit closer to get some kills on the side of Jin Air, especially Pyrion.
Teddy, I mean, he really needs to be the X factor for Jin Air in this game with the Xayah if they're going to find a victory. That and so on. Nice check into the brush. Yep. I know better than this. We're not going to walk up. MC, we know you're nearby. So do go ahead and spot him out. Nova still playing forward.
Herald going to be summoned by Blank.
Herald does come through. Vision of Empire down onto MC. That Bishop Prince not going to connect it, but Bang was left all by himself, and he's just going to get picked off. Effort not in a position to actually get that devour, and now has to flash out to safety. A bit of a botch here from SKT, and now Effort is just going to die.
It was actually really poorly played by Bang.
Wow.
Didn't really understand his scenario and taken down. Very assertive pick, but nicely done by Teddy and Nova. They get Bang instantly, then Effort is out of position. His flash not going to get them out. Replay will confirm how that happens. That one, that doesn't fit in the greatest hits. That's the track you delete off of the greatest hits by SKT. They're going to lose the bot lane turret for it as well. The first down moment for SKT comes 17 minutes into the game.
So surprising to see. After he blind checks and finds Empty.
So watch Bang. Bang, as the Rift Herald is summoned, that's fine. Effort's turned onto, but Teddy and Nova were in the brush. It wasn't well respected there that time by Bang. Dies through the heel. He goes down instantly, and then somebody else is going to die. They follow on to Effort. They take him down. No summon is necessary. Hop to death is Effort. That's definitely an oopsies by the side of SKT.
Absolutely. Bang doesn't even get the flash. Just gets taken down. So now they lose that turret and bot. Cloud Drake going to be picked up by Jin Air. Infernal going to be our third dragon of the game. See that one spawning just before the 24-minute mark. SKT double Infernal. Be quite nice for them, especially for Pyrian, who has just got an overabundance of power at the moment for the state of the game.
And you hope now that you've gotten a bot lane target, you've gotten some map control back. You still don't control the map, but certainly things are better than they were a moment ago. Then a moment ago for Jin Air is closest target gets Skarner ulted into the Rise Rune Prison, and of course space those out. That's quite a lot of CC, and Stormrazor Xayah does a lot of burst damage. There is still the chance you can make things 5v4, 5v5, and anywhere where Pyrian is, you want to avoid. But outside of that, there are still picks that Jin Air could probably make to try to find a way back into the game.
Just going to be shoving Nova away as they try to get some vision control over this bottom side. Blank going to be hovering nearby. But moving up and getting some damage onto that tower is going to prove very difficult. Teddy has quite a lot of wave clear already. The Stormrazor and the Zeal in the inventory.
Blank lying in wait here, looking for a Sejuani ultimate. But
please come clear this control ward, but Teddy's got it with the range now, so won't be able to capitalize on that, it would seem.
Rise has been free farming next to the Swain, doesn't have the kills, so not as much gold, but certainly doing just fine. Blank trying to make the map narrow. They didn't get this turret with the Rift Herald because of Bang's mistake. Returning to its taking time, and that's time that allows Teddy and Nova to get a bit of damage items.
Moving into a better spot for this bot lane.
You can delay.
Race on a roam.
You can delay to like a Zeke's Convergence. You feel pretty good. So on, threatening up the top side. His CS lead pretty slender over Tal, but he did go into the Resolve tree, so not going to be as crazy gold generation.
Oh, he pushed away for the moment, now comes back in. Barrel's going to be thrown down. Empty. Doesn't have a flash, just going to throw out that Chilling Smite. Now they'll turn around, look to take the tower. Does have the barrage. Tal, if he wants to throw it down, but seems like he'll just be happy to exchange this for the bot lane. Hold the ultimate for a later time.
Wouldn't have repelled them from the tower, and they just sort of tanked it with that many members and taking it down. So probably smart to think of a better time. For the ultimate, Stormrazor on the way from Tal as the second item. It's a very high damage build. We usually see Steric's second item, but won't be looking for it here. If you can blow the orange, maybe he is the one that you try to use the Skarner ultimate on. As he will be very squishy compared to basically everyone has gone Steric's this season as a second item. Definitely feels like SKT is far less ahead than they were a moment ago. Maybe that's because Pyrian hasn't been involved in the play. He's been mostly farming since the last time we checked in. A couple of good moments for Jin Air. A gold leave of only 2,300 gold at 20 minutes. Now seeing the Stormrazor and thinking, okay, maybe GP is an ult target the Steric's would have largely negated. Did feel like this game was basically over from a Jin Air perspective with how far ahead and how quickly SKT punished mistakes. But the mistakes have dropped away. SKT have made a very clear mistake, and now the game is in much more parity.
Yeah, the botch by Bang. It kind of throws it all in flux. Now pushing forward. He's going to be here. That's going to be the grand entrance coming down. They lock him in, and he doesn't even get a chance to pop the shield. Effort. Just not respecting the fog of war. They find the pick off there. The Tom Kench is dead.
Don't even need a flash to do it as well. It's a couple of ults. The QSS not enough because, well, grand entrance, quickness, and the Skarner ultimate is too many things to QSS.
He didn't even have the flash yet. He's still waiting on that cooldown to come up here as he pushes in on Pyrian. Now he's wishing, I wish he still had that ult ready to go, but it's okay. Got the one pick.
They wouldn't have been able to kill him, I don't think.
Probably.
So. I don't know if the collapse would have been there from SKT, but killing Pyrian would have taken a very long time.
They definitely need Teddy there for that.
Teddy and Nova walk up. I mentioned already the Zeke's Convergence with how much burst is already on to the Xayah. Remember, it's only one 30% crit item. To get the full value out of the first Stormrazor auto crit, you need 30% crit, and then you get 200% on that damage, rather than the 150% you have when you finish the Stormrazor. Very nice item point for Teddy. The Zeke's Convergence adds that extra damage as well. Patrolling. There's control wards, so there's hope for Jin Air to continue getting the picks to buy that time for some items.
Shooting back and forth, trying to maintain control over the Spire. SKT waiting over the wall, saying, come on, I'm clear this control ward, but they're not going to take the bait. Jin playing this one safe. They see that they do have a window to get themselves back into this game. They squeeze their way through, but it's possible.
That already is a little bit of a win for Jin. They didn't want to be run over in the early game. Seemed like the exuberance of would just accelerate their own demise, but found some decent ground in the game now. So that's a vision. Not going to be able to stop the back there from Pyrian and Blank. To what end, though? Infernal spawns in 45 seconds. Right now, that pit is largely controlled by SKT. Taking turrets against the Varus going to be very tricky. But if Jin put enough attention to the bot side, maybe an Infernal Drake is possible for them.
Nova eluding capture. Keeps himself safe here. And Stall's just going to be farming up on the bottom side. See where the next bit of action is going to break up, but say Infernal here getting ready to spawn. SKT would love to have two of those, get themselves back into the driver's seat. Jin would help them level the playing field just a little bit more if they can pick this up. They're going to be prepped and ready for it as the Dragon spawns.
They got great control wards.
Starting to roam down.
They got great control wards. It's the right move from the side of Jin to start this, but SKT have a lot of space control.
So much damage. Blank would have to get in there. He comes into the backside of the pit. Not going to be able to see that one away. It goes over to Umti. Jin now on the exit trying to make it out of here. Teddy goes up the Feather Storm, flashes away as that Chain of Corruption comes down from Bang. Nova will take a tag from the piercing arrow, but they make it out with their lives. Summoner spell is going to be blown by a couple members, but SKT will not have a double Infernal.
Some pings onto the Baron from both teams. Thinking about this one, our SKT is going to clear vision, it looks like. Very nice escape from Teddy. That was a tricky one for him to diagnose, already at half health after the Storm Razor barrel crit over the wall. SKT going to threaten the Baron, but right now, if you look at their team, you have to, again, do the double take and go, wait, that's lethality Varus. It's no Blade the Ruin King. The attack speed is going to be a lot lower. So the turn-off Baron, very fearsome for SKT. But the Baron speed does take a big hit with the lethality Varus.
So I'm not too worried about it. The Scrying Orb comes down from Jin. They spot it. It's not being taken. SKT still ahead, but it's only by just shy of 3,000 gold now. So Jin are staying locked into this game. Not going to be going down. So good recovery for them overall, but does mostly come off the back of that mistake from Bang and effort, both in the bot and then in the mid lane.
And this game just seems to have much more life than we expected. Around 10 minutes. The Yomu straight up from Bang was sitting on a lot of gold for the fight around the Infernal. What I want you to cast your attention to is, we'll see where that BF sword is going for the Xayah. If it is Infinity Edge, which of course could be. Probably going to be Merc Scimitar or the Infinity Edge, depending on the back timing. Infinity Edge against a very squishy Gangplank build for now. I guess there will be Asterix about the same time, but given the front line is facing, there is always that world where you burst one person with a Skarner ultimate and then Teddy can still do damage in a team fight. That would be a surprising change of pace for Jin, the one that's still possible in this game number one.
Vision War coming down. Keep playing forward. Pops the Yomus, and Blank is just waiting in the brush right now, looking for a moment to jump in. He goes for it, finds the lockdown, in on the Nova, but he is just going to get himself out of there. The QSS completed by the Rakan saves his life.
And go on the Summoner Aerie for lane, but QSS first item here delays something like the Zeke's Convergence. Teddy frustrated, but Nova able to get away from a gank like that. Side lane going better and better for the Gangplank, we should mention. Up in CS over the Gnar. That continues. Level 16 is hit. The ultimate from the GP at its highest rank. I hear a ghost, but it's just effort, swapping between his summoners.
Nova going back to base now. KT tries to push back in. Still, we're unable to get that turret there in the mid lane. The inner, a lot of damage, could not finish it off.
Gotta be really careful as supports backing against lethality Varus. He can do 800, 900 damage in a single Q, 0.15 AD ratio, hotfixed on patch 8.13. Bonus, that's total AD, so it's your items you buy, but also your base AD. So stronger in lane, but also just as strong outside of lane. Bang, double lethality, no armor onto Nova. 2 Qs probably kill Nova from full health.
Yeah, it won't take much. A light breeze offered up from Bang would probably take it down.
Just means that the usual spots where you say, this is an assertive spot I can recall and go get some more control wards, can lead to your demise. So something different to play against than most any other scenario as this particular champion, the Ricard.
Well, seems like we're just going to have some tiptoeing back and forth. Just putting vision down, having it get cleared out, just kind of tug of war along the river here next to the Baron.
Vision been very neutral between SKT and Jin Air, basically trading scuttles and control wards around the Baron. Jin Air, we mentioned, have some very strong pick, and thus they are pretty much the sum of their control wards, just getting more and more defensive. With the Vision of Empire, they can check from very relative safety, can SKT. But SKT are not growing a lead over Jin Air, and that's really the big takeaway message here. And one super play from Nova or an amazing Realm Warp. We've seen some fantastic ones this week. Game could change very quickly.
That is the biggest worry here for SKT, not being able to advance the pace of the game where they were before. Constantly applying pressure, and now have actually been suffering the losses as of late.
Spin the edge. Coming soon after the recipe here for Teddy. Didn't see when he backed, so I imagine around 1,000 gold away from it.
Nearly has it.
Items that you just couldn't have dreamed of when had the 3 ganks that were all counter-ganked by SKT. But they are starting to come in for the side of Jin Air. The hope is still there. I still think SKT have a very big advantage team fight composition-wise, but execution is the thing that you can't necessarily group in with that. Could change. SKT very solid in the early game, but much slower after the Mistaken.
Well, we had a pretty exciting early start, but things have slowed down. It's been all about the safety here for both of these teams. SKT likely would have been continuing pressing their foot on the accelerator had they not had those stumbles coming through from Bang and Effort. So now we'll have to go for the safe play.
Frustrating for So1 to have to go Randuin's against this team because there's no critical strike coming out of the build from Bang. Probably not going to build it in this build, but the Gangplank, of course, in lane and in team fights going to be putting out crits, so going to have to be respectful there is So1. Didn't double down on dunking lane, didn't want to go, say, Rage Blade into a Gnar. Very likely you just die to damage if you go for a high damage Gnar build against GP. Mountain Drake going to be taken down here. All of the attention from Jin Air is put on answering the Vision top side, and if that Vision seesaw always favors SKT, they can get 3 Drakes when it's the time for Jin Air to go and answer the Vision on the top side.
They're pushing in. Spire coming back through. Control ward going to be cleared here in the river. Furion's nearby, but has to go start kiting back just in case they try to Realm Warp on top of him, perhaps.
Gathering Storm taken by both of the marksmen this game.
Oh, baby. It's been a while. For me.
It's coming back. Gotta say, the game has slowed down on 8-13 overall. As
he's going forward here. Blank's going to be up front. Effort now. Trying to escape. Double knockup coming down. He pops his shield just in time. Flashes over the backside of the pit. Blank as the Arctic Assault to get himself out to safety. Effort still has to go golden at the end of it all just to keep himself alive.
Would have burned down from Ignite, I believe. That's why he uses the stasis there. No GP ultimate thrown into it. No summoners of importance blown on the side of Jin Air. Seeing the teleport back from Effort.
Just going to be rejoining here into the mid lane as they look for maybe a pick on the
It's all alone.
Glacial Prison ready to go. Nova just now arriving. Gets the double knockup yet again. And Teddy is here. Which means that SKT have to show some respect because, Blank taking a lot of damage from that Xayah.
He's done. Blank can back away. He has the Warmogs here, so he is able to get back to full health very quickly. SKT once again going to get control over the pit. I think SKT eventually going to have to make a start onto this Baron. They have very good Baron turn. The Varus ultimate, the Varus poke, and also GP can control space very well in the area.
Just haven't really been able to maintain their Vision foothold around the Baron pit. It's just constantly been that back and forth. As soon as they put him down, Jin Air, they press forward, they clear out the wards, and SKT just have to give up that ground and then try to re-advance. That's going to be the Chain of Corruption trying to come down there on a Teddy, but he's just going to miss it.
Doesn't even
Teddy
get
just
an ultimate out of Teddy.
Yeah, double root comes through as well, so Teddy extra safe.
What Bang needed there. Doesn't even get the ult out of Teddy. Had the QSS just in case it did register. Big advantage for SKT in terms of where the game goes as more gold gets in. We're a 55 to 58k gold game. Is that when GP buys items, it helps both lane and team fight, whereas the items that the Gnar builds is one or the other. He's building more for team fight. Second Giant's belt. Going into the inventory here, we'll wait and see what that turns into. Could just be a Warmox to try to shrug off the GP damage if he disengages. The GP is the one most primed to carry this game for SKT. Not going to get consistent damage out of the build from Bang. Gone for the death stance. He is very much the lethality Varus. Still strong in terms of the poke, as you will see.
Trying to get rid of that Scuttle Crab. Get some semi-constant vision going on around the Baron pit here for the side of SKT. Blank will be able to finish that off. Jin starts poking forward. Blank in an awkward position. He's got to be careful. He does have the Impale ready to go. Bang, looking to push forward. Chain of Corruption comes down, but it's going to be the defense storm out from Teddy. He's still going to get locked in until comes in. Teddy flashes away. Himself alive on the backside of the fight. And still going to get popped. Swain arrives. Pyrian finds the kill. Roll Warp coming down as they try to escape. They will be able to zip their way back to that inner tower, but SKT found the opening kill that they wanted to get rid of the Xayah, and now they're going to be looking for the Baron. It's already been started up.
That stand's probably really important there. So much damage onto Bang, he doesn't go down. Their Baron speed is not super fast, but there shouldn't be an answering smite here by Jin.
So on pushing forward, taking a bit of damage from the GP. Grace as well, just spamming out spells where he can, but the Baron will go down. All picks that one up. The smite wasn't ready. SKT back in the driver's seat. It took a long while, but they finally got the pick off that they wanted.
Let's watch the replay here. Bang almost just straight up dies. Effort has to get in there, gets the W in though, and then Bang is safe. Tal has threatened the backline. Teddy again still lives, but Vision of Empire, I believe,
just clips him there on the edge.
It's actually very amusing that takes his ultimate into being realm walked away. That could have been a really cool interaction. Gets away from that one. I don't believe that the enemy follows you through the realm walk. It can only be allies and allied minions. But gets away. Still SKT take the Baron. Turned out there was no smite from Blank. We could see on the Baron it went down to 100 health, so enough people contesting it. Maybe shenanigans will be enacted. They're not. And SKT finally, about, I guess 15 minutes later, find a way to get an advantage after what has been a very even game between 20 and 35 minutes.
They still need to push in versus Jin, and Teddy this far into the game. He has a lot of power behind that Xayah, so even with the Baron empowered minions, he's still going to be able to clear out the waves very quickly. Let's see if SKT can try to come up with another pick onto this Xayah as they start moving forward, looking for this inner mid tower yet again.
Well, 1 hour left, and this is going to actually extend past the 94-minute dream. 94 minutes always going to be referenced in this particular series after we had it in the first round robin of this year.
You know, it's every time Teddy's got some immaculate wave clear that the game start going very long. So
it's not quite Sivir, but it's pretty good.
You know, it's pretty damn good. Let's throw a Hurricane on it for the hell of it. Why not?
Sounds good to me. Bang had some Hurricane Xayah the other day. So it is definitely situationally picked up. I believe Deft was on that as well in the Gen G series early this week. SKT roll up. They've got tankier minions, and they've got some great poke coming through from Bang. Jin, press the Predator.
On the aggressive side here now. They're going to dive in. That's going to be the Impale coming down on a Blank. He's going to flash away.
Oh!
Barely manages to stay alive. Grace will manage to get the fadeaway kill, however. Realm Warp gets cast, but it's not going to be enough for him to get out of there. Bang finds the kill before he can finish the channel.
Might have actually accidentally killed the Rakan there. You do so much damage. As this Varus, everyone has to disengage. It will be inhibited turret mid lane for SKT.
Yep, maybe even the inhibitor as they still play forward. Bang. See how saucy he's feeling. Tall trying to get some damage in with the barrels, but it's not going to be enough. The wave's going to get cleared out. They can get that inhibitor down to about half HP, but they can't finish it off. Pyrian applies some pressure in bot, but not going to find much damage there. Just has to go back using that Baron empowered recall while he still has it.
Because it's SKT versus Jin, and you have to show some respect. It's only an inhibited turret, not an inhibitor taken by SKT, and that's going to be the end of the Baron. 30 seconds left. They're not going to be in position with their waves to actually do anything with the rest of it. So while SKT find a meaningful lead by breaking the base on their first Baron, they don't close the game necessarily. That means the action will extend.
Well, Grace has respawned, and now it's going to be all about this Elder Dragon. 2 buffs each, either side having an Infernal. SKT wanting to get their hands on this Everybody just going to be moving their way down here towards this bottom side of the map, other than Tal, who's got the TP still ready to go.
To me, the only thing to separate the users of the Elder Drake buff would be more dots on the side of SKT and pokes, so they could actually use the true damage a little bit better, but it's not like Jin Air will be slouches, and Teddy would be a monster with the Elder, so certainly high value for both teams.
Destroying. Just poking out where he can.
The last Whisper. Armor penetration going to be very useful against the Gnar and the Skarner especially.
We're going to start the sub.
Jin Air don't have vision. How much risks are we taking? They know it's been started.
Yeah, ward into the back of the pit. The Elder Dragon going to be down to about half here at the moment as Tal just gains some space to push in onto this inner turret up top. That's going to be the reset coming through. Jin Air move in. He has to kite out. All comes down. There's still that control ward, and he's not going to have enough time to clear that. The turret will fall. SKT winning, just inching forward here. Playing with Jin Air, just trying to pull them back and forth between the objectives.
And this was the variable that we said separated the two teams. Was looking at the power play, about 3,300 gold, but Tal is able to build to maximize lane and team fight damage, whereas the Gnar, building mostly tank, wants to make something happen as a group, but knows he doesn't have the quick wave clear or the ability to take trades with the GP, so GP scaling with gold has been the big separator in a moment like that.
Tal now arriving into mid, joining up with the rest of the SKT squad. Seems like it's just going to be a call to go back to base for now.
Not sure where the item timings are at. 6 items almost finished for Pyrion. Just needs his death cap as the final item. He's in the sideway, picking up all the gold that he can.
This voyage here from Effort, just pulling he and the GP into the mid. Wave clear from Bang is just going to stop any of those minions from getting anywhere close to the tower, so they can go ahead, hold control over that for now.
Minion-wise, we've definitely had SKT Jin Air games with Flame Horizons all over the place. We're not seeing that this game.
Nope.
About 25 to 30 minions that SKT have killed, that Jin Air have been denied, probably around the early game, where things were going a little bit south for the side of Jin Air. Now we do have that 6 item complete onto the Swain. Hasn't been able to flex his metal in team fights, been a bit more kited, but the skirmishing play from Pyrion was very good earlier. Looking at the gold leads, about a 2,500, almost 3,000 gold lead for Pyrion in the mid lane.
It's been a great spot. SKT, though, they still have to play respectfully, even though this is almost a 10,000 gold lead here. It's kind of been teetering back and forth over that line. They still have to be worried about the damage output from Teddy. And if Umpty can just get one pick, blow up that target, to really turn the fight in their favor. SKT committing forward, looking for the Elder Dragon. It's down to 4,000. Grace and Teddy are already out of the fight. There's just nothing they can do. Elder gets picked up. SKT now have this buff for the next 2.5 minutes. See how much they can get done. That inhibitor's still open in mid.
The poke is outrageous. Really, Jin Air have one option. We already mentioned we like SKT in the 5v5.
They have a go button.
They have the go button. They have the Realm Warp, and the Realm Warp is definitely a high-risk choice. But if you can't Realm Warp and find a way to stop Bang just opening it up and poking your front line before they even get near the fight, you're going to lose anyway. So I think you have to take a big risk. Yukal and KT were able to turn over a compositional disadvantage by great Realm Warp play. I think you're going to have to do that soon as Gathering Storms hit their 4th proc.
Well, now it's a push forward to clear out the Baron pit yet again. Going to spot this ward on the outside. There's one in the back. Should have control to get thrown down here. But SKT, you know, perfect opportunity to go ahead and take a fight around the Baron. Like you said, already have great peel off with Bang. So can just move away from that objective, force Jin Air into a fight, and then try to best them with this Elder Dragon buff.
So much has happened since the first Jin Air vs. SKT series. That was the 94-minute game. That was what got OGN and Spo to put the Gathering Storm counters. We didn't have those back in the day. Riot also increased the power of the Elder Drake because of games like that, because of the feedback that got received a lot more. I know I was very vocal on Twitter about the things that need to change in the game to stop stall from happening. Stall is less likely. This game will probably go 94 minutes, but predictably, when it's Jin Air versus SKT, you never quite know.
It's still going to be going late, so already the longest game of the night that we have here. We are about to hit 42 minutes. Tal just cutting his way in. Go back. Keep applying pressure in the bottom side of the map. Still has TP. Has not had to use that. Has not had to use that so far. It's not in a very long while. Nova waiting for potential engage from the side flank, but not going to find it. SKT just peeled back. Move over to the Baron where it's still in that fog of war. One scrying orb available from Jin Air, and now it's going to be used.
Also, that means with the scrying orb being cleared, Elder's going to run out very shortly, although maybe not. Early enough for Sowon, who, okay, he's pretty damn tanky, we should mention, with the Warbox.
That's going to be an engage looking for Teddy, but the Thunderstorm takes him up into the air. He'll stay alive. Engage onto the back. Big burst of damage in on the Nova. He's got to dash the hell out of there. Tall now pinching up from the side, throwing down the barrels. Not going to find the connection, and Tall actually takes a hell of a lot of damage here as a GP. No pick to come through. They're going to force Teddy back with a recall. Still has his flash. SKT. Will they go back to base? Looks like effort at least will.
Teddy frontlining like Teddy always likes to do. Likes to go in the front, understands zone tankiness, doesn't have a Tom Kent, doesn't have necessarily the most utility. But that's just the Teddy we've come to know and love.
Or Death Stance.
You're right. I mean, he has a lot of damage. He does have the Merc Scimitar. He still has his flash, but the poke is so strong. There you go. One round of spells, and Teddy's at half health.
Yep. Just got back, too. So Vision gonna keep. Oh my god.
I told you.
Man, Bang is making Zoe look balanced.
Here's the question. Does Nova die to one fully charged Q and a Vision of Empire? There's a lot of ability power on the Swain.
Yes, probably.
Imagine that.
All right, well, that's going to be the Baron started up. So, still pretty slow here on this take. Sowon has the transformation. SKT, do they wait this one out?
Baron at 7,000, still have time here.
Could ruin this for SKT if Sowon can line it up. That's a juicy opportunity right there, but still, there's no vision forward, so can't go for it. They'll get exhausted. Nova going to be looking to go back to base.
Didn't have vision on the recall, but they can infer it. Nova should get away with this. Should be mentioned that Nova has really ultra nothing this game. He has a QSS and most of a Shirelius at
That's it.
44 minutes. Back onto the Baron. He spotted at 10,000.
Down to half now. Sowon starting to poke
Gotta
his way
commit now.
forward.
Gotta commit now.
That Meganar, but he's not going to have it in time. That's going to be the Baron going over. Blank able to get it. Now they turn around looking for the fight. Numpty just gets chunked down, ripped apart. Tries to kite his way out. Seems like he might escape with his life for the moment. Nova with the quickness will not be as lucky. He'll get taken down. Bang, looking for the blind piercing shot over the wall. Not going to find Grace, but will be able to get him in the end. It same jump forward. Grace tries to finish him up, but he just can't do it. The auto attacks in the end enough to keep Bang alive, taking down that Rise. That's going to be the 2 for 0. As they try to get one back here, Blank going to go golden, but he's surrounded. Teddy's here. Effort trying to get close enough. Get the Devour off. It's not going to happen. Even flashes in.
Tried to flash
just
into
gonna
the
get the
shield,
lash.
doesn't get it.
Teddy has to juke back away from that Vision of Empire. The barrel coming through. Featherstorm up from Teddy, keeping himself safe for now. Keeping that GA, but the rest of SKT pushing forward. Now looking for the tower. Cleanse comes through. Teddy with the QSS, keeping himself safe. After that Chain of Corruption comes in, but he's got to go back to the fountain. That's going to be 2 inhibitors falling in favor of SKT.
It's a 4v4, so they probably can't close the game here. This is a meaningful lead, though. They do get the inhibitor that they returned to from before. They got the inhibitor turret on the first Baron. They take 2 inhibitors on the second and still have 2 minutes 20. Seeing huge gold leads. 6,000 gold is the lead for the non-Klepto Gangplank. When I watch the replay, do notice that Tom Kench changes to Smite, so they have double Smite. They're able to take it very easily. Jin is too slow on this play. You either need to fully disengage and try to make a play somewhere else. There wasn't really much else to play. Or you go straight for it much earlier. They don't. Those 2 members very swiftly. Bang actually looked for a flash Q that would have been really cool looking. Remember, Death's Dance is 20% damage reduction. Could actually have been the difference there. They close away Grace. They take the 2 inhibitors, but it's still one more push for SKT to win. And how many times did we say one more push in that 94-minute game? We were getting to about 10 to 12 territory.
Well, I still feel sane, so that's a good sign here, Papa Smithy, as we're at 46.5 minutes. Teddy going to be swapping things up a little bit. Not sure what he's sold. I think it was a Storm Razor, and now has a Phantom Dancer in the inventory, so looking for a bit more dueling potential. Vision of Empire coming down, not going to get the clip. The rest of Jin Air was waiting in the wings, but now they're going to be shoved out of the jungle here as Blank advances forward.
Teddy has his flash still after all of that. His outplays were great to see, but it may all be in vain. Jin Air may still lose this game. The Storm Razor sale makes a lot of sense because he was only sitting on 1 Zeal item for attack speed.
Yeah.
Now he has 2 Zeal items, and the Storm Razor is a very front-loaded damage item that allows you to bridge to this point, where at 6 items, it is outdated.
SKT with less than a minute remaining on the Baron, pushing in, looking for this 3rd and final inhibitor. Paul keeping pressure applied in mid and keeping Sowon busy as well, but The wave clear from Teddy is obviously still very strong. Baron-empowered minion just getting a couple hits in. Whittle away at the tower very slowly. Teddy takes a little bit of poke.
SKT trying to be controlled, trying to wait for all the minions to flood into the base as they push up for this tower that should die in 1 or 2 autos from Bang. He's got a lot of attack damage.
Actually, it's no GA on Teddy at the moment.
With much
Tower
damage
will
as
fall.
possible.
Grace is going to be dangerously low here. Has to go back to the fountain. That's going to be an engage coming through from Nova. Quickness on top of everybody. Bang gets locked down, but he's going to get devoured in the end by effort, keeping him alive. Barely a sliver of HP remaining on this Varus as Teddy looks for the kill. Double root coming through from that Blade Caller. Tall goes over the wall, keeps himself alive, barely holding on to the Guardian Angel. Furion falls low, another Devourer out from effort, but he might just have to sack his life to try to save the rest of the team. The TP's coming back through from the gangplank. Furion, the rest of SKT limping out of the base. It'll be a cancel on the teleport. A lot of pressure from the super creeps in the top lane. No one going to die on the side of SK Telecom, but good God, did they get close.
Amazing that no one dies in that fight. Everyone on a sliver, everyone disengaged. Teleport back in. They're on the Elder, but Pyrion's out of this fight already.
Yeah, he's trying to get that honey fruit, but it's barely pushing him to a quarter of his HP. The dragon falling low, Chain of Corruption coming down. Umpty looking to push in. If he can find the pickoff, if he can find the steal.
50-50.
Elder going low, Grace takes a big burst of damage. It's Blank all alone inside the pit. Barrett, or the dragon goes slow, and the smite comes through. It's gonna be Blank picking that one up. SKT now looking to move their separate ways. Jin Air cannot advance any further from here. Missed the smite. Would have been a crucial moment for Jin Air to maybe get in control of this game.
I may be misled, but I believe there were no smites up at this objective. Maybe we'll get a replay of, maybe we won't. We'll get a replay of this. This is about as close as a fight can ever get at 6 items on so many members for no one to get down. Bang almost one-shotted. Very important that he has the death stance. He would have died without it in this fight. Tal also doesn't even go into Guardian Angel.
Yep.
How does no one die?
Just casually starts recalling right here too. It's like, yeah, you know, I've still got the Baron buff, so this will be fine. So get his way out of there.
I think it was actually Sejuani passive that killed the Elder. Neither Umti nor Blank had smite. Again, I may be incorrect on that, but that was what I saw on that one. Very close, but is secured by Blank. 2,100 gold, but I think these gold, I think starting to be very much...
Oh, it's inconsequential at this point.
We're at 100,000 gold for SKT.
Yeah.
The 15,000 mark definitely doesn't tell us too much. We're starting to finally feel that if the poke isn't done, the damage drop-off of having a marksman that isn't a consistent damage marksman is hurting the side of SKT a bit. But Jin Air haven't been able to close the kills that would just straight up win them the game.
Well, down into the bot lane we go yet again. Inhibitor, full HP. Still.
This is double Elder, by the way, for
in.
SKT.
It is.
So this is the double buffs here, guys. This is some insane damage.
Yeah, you can see Grace already limping out of the fight. They try to poke forward. Tall still crucially holding onto that Guardian Angel, allows them to play forward a little bit, go for some riskier barrels. The inhibitors in mid and top have respawned, so it's just going to be a rotation over from SKT to try to take those down. Nova goes for the fight, but he's going to get chunked down, has to retreat immediately. Barrage comes down, Nova, one more shot would finish off the recon, but seems like he might just make it out, but the same cannot be said for Grace. He's gonna get popped as Bang finds the kill. Umti goes golden, but he's got nowhere else to go. A double kill over to Pyrion as they look for the finish. A push into the fountain, attempted by Soan with an R ultimate, but he can't quite get him in there, and even if he did, it wouldn't be enough to save the game, to save the Nexus. SKT, definitely a harder task than they would have liked to admit. Nearly 51 minutes on the clock, but they managed to close it out in Game 1 over Jin Air.
The definition of a hard-fought victory for SK Telecom T1. Look it up in the dictionary. It will say right under it, SKT versus Jin Air, 4th game of the year. That was a really tricky one. SKT, a wonderful start, counter-ganking the Umti mistakes. But then, after a Bang mistake on the bot side, the game stalled out again and again. It had to be Jin Air versus SKT. It had to go to basically 5 procs of the Gathering Storm, but the closeout does happen. The double Elder was the damage they needed, because even Swain proccing that true damage is going to be relevant. They take them down, but by a very fine margin, and Jin Air not as far away from SKT as first caught the eye.
And you know, it's just a game of what ifs now, like racing through the minds of Jin Air. Had Umti gotten that steal on the Elder Dragon, what would have transpired afterward? Could Jin Air have picked up multiple kills, finally gotten some of those towers taken away from SKT and maybe converted this into a win? It's thoughts like that that can plague you and that can ruin your second game, because now they have to kind of clear their heads and focus on game 2.
If you're the coach of SKT, if you're Como or the drafting coaches here, Bengi and Pumandu, you look at the replays, but you don't look at the replays of the late game teamfight execution, because Teddy should never have been running around with 6 items. It should never have been about teamfight execution. It's the earlier mistakes that they need to fix, because that allowed it to become just about teamfights, which it never should have been.
Yeah, I need to explain. This is how you almost let this slip through your fingers, and this is how you avoid it in game 2. Rough tidings from Jin Air. Gonna have to try to bounce back from this loss. Another very extensive game between them and SK Telecom. We'll see how they handle it when we come back from the break. Just a little bit, but first we have to take a look at these damage figures, because we know they're going to be absolutely insane. 52,000, over 1,000 damage per minute here coming out of Bang with that Varus build.
Such is poke Varus builds. Lethality Varus, always good for some damage numbers at the end, but by the end, it almost didn't matter. Achilles 5 Gathering Storm procs later, and 6 items on Teddy. You wondered if he could be the Fountain Laser one more time. I think he was, but mislabeled a little bit, not enough to close out the game. After the break, we'll see if Jin Air can find a victory.
Yep, guys, we're going to go to that break. We'll be back in just a few minutes, see if SKT can get the 2-0 or if Jin Air can stabilize.